Coach, you weren't even sure about 20 minutes before the game what you would get out of Will Greer because of his illness. What have you gotten out of him?
Well, he's playing pretty good. He got us into a couple hots. They came and had blitzed on about darn near every play, so obviously that's their game plan. We've got to do a great job at half coming up with the answers.
Because of the quick strike ability of this Ole Miss offense, what will be the things you remind your team about at halftime?
Well, defensively now, we're playing really well, but they are well-coached staff. They'll go in and tweak some things, and what we've got to do is understand we got to stay on the attack. And you know what? It's pretty cool in here, isn't it? Huh?
It is, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Me and my brother spent a lot of time at my grandmother's house. We had a really good bond. She was at every practice and games, and she was really the one taking me. She always motivated me to do my best. She was always on my side. If I was right or I was wrong, she ended up passing. But for her to fight through cancer twice, it's hard for me to complain anymore knowing what she's been through. If she could talk to me, she would just tell me to keep doing what I do, and she's proud of me. And I'm just thankful to have somebody like that in my life.
Undefeated Ole Miss, undefeated Florida, and a lot on the line in Swamp. Play action. Greer off his back foot, fires deep. Man's there. Got it. Touchdown. DeMarcus Robinson. The ball is out. Florida's got it. Brian Cox Jr. Kelvin Taylor. They fake it wide open. Touchdown. McGee. It's crossing route. It's Powell in the open field. And look out. He's even. He's leaving. Touchdown. And we welcome you back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Hilton. Surprising Florida Gators, ranked number 25, up 25. Welcome back to the Swamp. Red Nestler with Todd Blackledge. I don't care how good your offense is when you score 55 points a game. If you find yourself in long yardage situations on third down, you're not going to do very well, especially against a Florida defense like this.
Florida plays right into the hands of the Florida defense. They've played outstanding. They've limited the big plays. That was something that Ole Miss's offense has done all year. They came in averaging 10 explosive plays a game, runs over 10, passes over 20, only 3. And they also ran into a very hot quarterback in Will Greer. He started the game hot. He finished it perfect, hit his last 9 passes. So nobody expected Will Greer to play that way. He's been outstanding.
I'm sure Ole Miss coach Hugh Freeze a little bit shocked. Holly was with him just a moment ago.
Coach Freeze, your offense hasn't gotten on rhythm yet. What's causing them the most problems?
Well, 3 possessions, we go backwards about 30 yards on snaps and fumbles and, things that are uncharacteristic of us. It's a tough environment, but, so were the other ones we played it on the road. Credit to them, we're getting smacked around in a lot of ways on both sides. But we'll find out a lot about our team here. You got to battle back and get in it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Smacked around for sure. The biggest game that this stadium has had in a while. As we said, coming in, Florida, first time in 3 years to be 4-0 at this point. Wins over Kentucky and Tennessee, but this one is a big one, and they're halfway there. Can they upset number 3 Ole Miss? We got 2 quarters to find out. Rebels will get the ball first to start the third. That'll help the cause a little bit. Powell the kickoff. Jalen Walton waits back in his own end zone. There have been some surprises today. This one would be huge if it holds up. Walton's got to track it down and take a knee. They'll bring it out to the 25. Leaders for Ole Miss, Chad Kelly, 129 yards through the air. He's already had 3 300-yard games through 4 games this season. He's going to have more of that. Jalen Walton, they've done nothing on the ground, really. And Laquan Treadwell, his receptions have totaled 43 yards.
You heard Hugh Freeze talk about some of the backwards plays, but the Florida defense has prevented the big plays too, and that's what Ole Miss has to find a way to get going in this half. Some chunk plays down the field.
Counter, Walton, and a good run for about 7. Joey Ivy made the stop. Amazing that I've talked about, 55 points a game, which is second in the country. And you saw the graphic that they had scored in every quarter Through 2 quarters so far, nothing. Second down and 3. They fake the fly sweep. They throw to the man that was in motion, and Pack has got a first down. And almost a late hit by Florida on the tackle.
Well, again, we talked about it early in the game. The changes on this offensive line. Vaughn Cooper playing left tackle was the right tackle when this season started. They've got a redshirt freshman now starting at right tackle, a true freshman starting at right guard.
Walton dropped for a loss. Jonathan Bullard. Big play, Bullard. He's done that a lot this year.
Well, and nobody blocked him. We're talking about the offensive line. You got to account for him. He's the most disruptive player on this defensive front. And that's just easy for a guy like Jonathan Bullard.
Second down and 16, another negative play that Hugh Freeze talked about with Holly. And that's got the crowd fired up again. Kelly, play action, trouble, got rid of it quickly. Walton knocked out of his hands. Nice job defensively.
Well, they're going to get a break here. They're going to get a roughing the passer, which is going to give them a first down.
Number 90 to defense. 15-yard penalty, an automatic first down.
I mean, Chad Kelly was under major duress from Brian Cox, and they're just saying that Bullard continued through the tackle instead of pulling off.
And you see Kelly's head bounce off that turf, and the yellow flag come in, so that's going to give Ole Miss an automatic first down in Florida territory at the 48.
I think Chad Kelly needs to try to take one down the field here on first down. Max protect and throw one up for one of those big receivers.
This is only the 6th play that Ole Miss has run in Florida territory, and they only got about 2 yards out of Kelly falling forward. Antonio Morrison tripped him up.
Well, the coverage has been pretty solid for Florida. When we talked to Jeff Collins yesterday, he says, you know, Vernon is all that. Vernon Hargraves, he is an outstanding player, a first-round draft pick. But we think we have 4 guys that are excellent cover guys.
Including Quincy Wilson, the other corner. The throw is out, and it's on Vernon Hargraves, who runs Cody Core out of bounds. Vernon, his dad, we saw a week ago, actually, is one of the linebacker coaches at Arkansas. He's got a little dance going. And why not? They forced another third down, but this at least is much shorter. 3rd and 2 for the Rebels.
Now, if you have single coverage right here with Treadwell, and you got a pass called,
Kelly picks up the first down on the run.
they've been effective with the quarterback run. Because, again, Florida is an aggressive defense. They play a lot of man coverage, and that leaves the quarterback unaccounted for as a runner. And I think Chad Kelly's done a nice job making positive yardage on design quarterback runs.
A sustained drive with points would mean so much for this Ole Miss offense. Remember, the only try they had was a 29-yard field goal that they missed to the right. 7th play of this drive that started at their own 25.
Gonna have to hurry here now. Play clock down under 5. I don't think they're gonna get it off. They didn't.
No, they didn't.
Unless Hugh Freeze called timeout.
He did, I think. The official at the top of the screen looked like he had called the timeout that we will take along with him. That's one they could definitely use later. Trailing 25-0, trying to keep something going here. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Hilton. We mentioned earlier Chad Kelly, the nephew of the Hall of Famer Jim Kelly. I know you talked to Jim today.
Yeah, he's so proud of his nephew for what he's going through and how he's trying to change his life. He told him just stay humble and keep working on his mechanics. And he told me a funny story. He said the Alabama game he watched with his 2 brothers. He said it's the first time he ever watched a game purely as a fan. And he was so nervous for his nephew. He said, I don't like this.
I like that swing pass. Didn't gain much, though, to Akeem Judd.
He said, I don't like it. And his brothers turned to him and said, welcome to our world. We did that for 20 years watching you play.
That's how you are with Harrison watching him play basketball.
It's different.
Chad has hit his last 5. Pretty soon we got to see a long ball out of him, I think. You mentioned it a few minutes ago. 2nd down and 7. That run play didn't get much for Jordan Wilkins, about a yard. Brian Cox made the tackle.
I just think Laquan Treadwell is too difficult to guard one-on-one, and he's worth throwing the ball up vertically down the field and letting him have a chance to go make a play. Now, if there's safety help over the top, that's different.
Third down and 6. It's loud in here right now. Kelly to Treadwell on a wide-out screen, and Florida had it read beautifully. Jalen Tabor with an open field tackle.
Yeah, they didn't go anywhere. Tabor read this so quick. Watch number 31 right here come immediately. He read it immediately, and he got there before a lineman could get out and block him.
That is a case of a kid watching film, being coached well, and knowing exactly where that play was going. Well, they're one of the best teams on 4th down in the country. Florida's the best. 5 out of 6. They need to try to make something happen here. At the Florida 33, Kelly on 4th down over the middle, and he got it. Completes. And it's a 1st down inside the 25.
Well, they got Ingram. He's been quiet. He's been quiet all season. He's right here. He's just going to work a little curl around the middle. Find a soft spot. And the quarterback right there with a nice low pass.
So Ole Miss 6 out of 7 on their 4th down conversions now in the season. Here's Kelly on the keeper. Got 7 before he's run down. Marcus May and Antonio Morrison combined on the hit.
I think to be good in the red zone, you either have to have a great running game, a power running game, or your quarterback has to be a running threat. It's too hard to just make throws in the red zone against a good defense.
Treadwell is to the bottom of your screen on 2nd down and 3. With Stringfellow and Attaboy Joe up on top.
If I'm Chad Kelly, I'm watching this safety. If he's not helping on Treadwell, I'm going to number 1.
Yeah, they keep it on the ground to Walton. And Jalen's got a 1st down around the 13-yard line.
Walton runs a lot bigger than his size would suggest.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not afraid to stick his nose up on the inside, lower his pads, and run hard.
They can get a 1st down around the 2-yard line. 13th play of the drive. Kelly's got a man open in the flat. It's Walton. And he gets run out of bounds before he can get to the 1st down marker, but he is at the 4-yard line.
Well, they're just kind of picking away. Nice job by Chad Kelly. Patiently, he read the end zone first. He was looking to throw the ball to the end zone. Had 2 intended receivers there, not open. Did the smart thing, dumped it off for a nice positive gain.
This is a nice spot to be in. It's 2nd down and 2, but you can get another 1st down at the 2. 2 tight end set on the left side. Kelly wanted to pitch it. Florida read it. He had to eat it for a loss back to the 6.
And that just didn't look like a play that they've run a lot. It's something you have in your arsenal in a goal line situation. Again, a quarterback run, but penetration by the Florida defensive line really bottled that play up.
Kind of weird that they had the strength of the formation to the left, and then they ran a quarterback to the right. Now it's 3rd and 4, and they're not in as good a spot as they were a play ago.
Well, this looks like single coverage at the bottom.
And that's Treadwell. Kelly is going to run it. And he's close. He's got a 1st and goal inside the 1.
Gutsy run. Reached that ball out at the end, trying to get it to the goal line, but they got the 1st down nonetheless.
Now they'll hustle up to the line. They've got Liggins in there as an extra blocker. 1st down inside the 1-yard line. Jalen Walton trying to go deep, but can't get under Davis and the Florida defense, and he might have lost a little bit on that play. Now Walton will come out.
If you're going to run the quarterback here again, You just go design quarterback power. You don't do that down the line option again. Get an extra 2 blockers in front of the quarterback and run behind him if you're Chad Kelly.
17th play of the drive, 2nd and goal at the 1. And again, Florida's going to stand up Jordan Wilkins.
And again, it's Gerard Davis. The defensive line does their job of holding their ground, and then Davis runs right through. Unblocked, right to the ball carrier, gets to the legs so that Wilkins can't fall forward towards the end zone.
Jeff Collins says this kid's got the passion, the energy, the toughness, the intelligence. Used it all right there for a loss. 3rd and goal at the 2. And again, they're going to stop Wilkins. It's 4th and goal.
Well, again, I don't like the play call. They've had Laquan Treadwell, single coverage on the outside, not against Vernon Hargreaves, against Quincy Wilson, and they've run it 3 plays in a row.
If they hold Ole Miss here, well, they're going to come out and kick a field goal. There is no way they should have ended in this situation when they had 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
They went backwards.
And remember, this guy missed one earlier. This should be a chip shot from 22. Gary Wunderlich trying to put some points on the board, and finally Ole Miss does, but it took them 2.5 quarters to do so. Long drive, time-consuming drive, disappointing drive, if you ask me. And here's the goal line stand by the Gators that forced that field goal. 25-3, Florida. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge, Holly Road, our ESPN crew at the Swamp, where it's been all Florida, 25-3. Ledge, I don't know. 2 red zone possessions for a team that scores 55 a game. They got a field goal and they missed a field goal. And I'm with you. I don't like the play calling down there when I don't know what good 3 points does right now. Maybe it'll come back and be great, but Brandon Powell from the 5. Already has a touchdown tonight on the reception. Gets this one out to the 22-yard line, and we go out to Adnan.
Keep you updated. Ness?
All right, Adnan, thanks. Wow, Fournette having some kind of start for LSU, huh? Here's Kelvin Taylor. Got about 3. We check in with Holly.
Well, guys, you were questioning the play calling on that last Ole Miss drive. Some of the players on the sidelines may be wondering the same thing. Laquan Treadwell is over here on a bike, and he's not doing this in a disrespectful or dissatisfied way in any means, but he is asking the coaches questions about the play calls and why on those last drives. He just wants answers of why he's not being utilized. He's pointing out that some of the opportunities he's having one-on-one, just wants to get more involved with his team right now.
No, I totally agree. You know, that big of a target and that close to the end zone, give the guy a chance to go up and make a play. At least once.
Taylor again, 2 more maybe for Kelvin. That last drive, 18 plays from scrimmage before the field goal, and their longest play was 11 yards.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with taking what the defense gives, but when you get in that part of the field and you have a receiver, the caliber and the quality of Laquan Treadwell, I just think he has to be part of your goal line package, especially when you haven't been able to run it on a couple downs.
And we keep focusing in on number 1. It's not like they don't have 3 or 4 other good receivers. Ole Miss would love a stop here on 3rd down and 5. Florida from its 27. Greer comes up firing a strike again to Jake McGee.
Timing. Again, the tight ends are solid receivers. They're big targets. And the quarterback is throwing the ball on time. I mean, McGee just runs a little out route. He knows what he needs for the 1st down. Sits down, catches the ball with his hands. Easy pitch and catch again for Will Greer.
Jake caught 5 last week. 5 more tonight so far. And another 1st down at the 36-yard line. Greer quick throw, far side. DeMarcus Robinson trying to get away from the defense and can't. Did get 3 yards. After tonight's Pac-12 showdown, keep it locked into SportsCenter at night. Complete college football wrap-up plus a pennant race update with the season coming to an end. SportsCenter at night, beginning right after Oregon and Colorado on ESPN. Second down and 7 for the Gators. The third quarter is winding down under 3 minutes. High snap again. He got it down and got it to Taylor, but he's all wrapped up by DJ Jones. He made a nice play off the defensive front. The 325-pounder's quick.
Yep, really big play there. A negative yardage play on second down. It brings up 3rd and 10. Now you put the burden on Doug Nussmeier. How aggressive will he be with his quarterback on 3rd and 10?
Well, his quarterback hit his last 11 passes, so he's certainly been on target, on time tonight, as he was late in the game against Tennessee last week. 3rd and 10. Converted 2/3 of their third down conversion so far tonight. Can they get 10 more? Greer flushed out of the pocket, throwing on the run. He completes. Nope, it's in and out of the hands of Brandon Powell. Couldn't hold it. And it will be a punting situation.
Well, nice rush that time by Fadal Brown, coming from the opposite side. Got around the left tackle and forced Will Greer out of the pocket, and Greer not able to connect on the run.
So Johnny Townsend set to kick it away to Carlos Davis. Any kind of special teams play would help Ole Miss too, to try to get back in the football game. I don't think they're going to get it on this one. He blasts that punt again, and he got drilled as soon as he caught it by Chris Thompson. And a flag down. Maybe he didn't give him enough room when I say drilled him.
Well, the other question is, did he hit him above the head in the neck and shoulder area?
John McDade is our referee. If you can hear the call, some of them have been hard to decipher tonight because of the crowd noise.
Kick catcher interference on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Emmett doesn't like it. You have to give room to make the catch.
Could have almost have been above the shoulder hit too, but oh no, he didn't do that, did he? That's not going to go over well on the side. Look back at that punt and the coverage by Chris Thompson. Bill Amanye, longtime official, our guy up in the booth. What do you think, Bill?
Well, the rule specifies that that receiver gets a 1-yard distance in front of him, and he wasn't given that opportunity. I think it's an excellent call by the back judge. I think the crew's done a good job tonight. They want that one pass interference back, but I think that's an excellent call.
Chris Thompson's going to wish he didn't do that throat slash thing. I mentioned Coach McElwain has already dealt with that with Calvin Taylor once this year. Chad Kelly, finally a long ball and just off the fingertips of Laquan Treadwell. Would have been the biggest play of the night had they hit it.
First time they really tried to stretch the defense, and he had a step on the safety. Kiki Neal ran by him. Just a slight overthrown ball by Chad Kelly, who's really heated up here now. That's 17 of his last 22 that he's hit.
That last drive, 19 plays. And it's the 8th time this year a team has gone that far without a touchdown. Down the middle, there's an open man in Evan Engram. One of the captains of the offense picks up 16 to the tight end.
Nice play fake. Chad Kelly very patient with the run fake. That caused the linebackers to come up and run towards the line of scrimmage, and Engram slipped right in behind him.
And here's Kelly on the keeper. His best run of the night takes him into Gator territory, but the ball is out. It's picked up by Alex McAllister. Florida has it back.
Yeah, I think Kelly definitely fumbled the football. He had a nice run going. It was a design quarterback run. And I think this ball's popped out before he hits the ground. It definitely was.
Marcus May popped it out of there. McAllister in the right place at the right time. And the second turnover of the night suffered by Ole Miss.
One of the dangers, or the risks you run, I should say, when you run your quarterback, he's not used to getting hit live in practice. He's not used to protecting the ball in the open field. It looked like he had it pretty well protected, but Marcus May able to knock it out.
Sean Rawlings, the right tackle, who was trying to make a tackle on McAllister, I think, after that fumble recovery, is the guy that's down for Ole Miss.
And again, this is an offensive line that is already undermanned and switching and moving guys around.
An injured team strikeouts. Well, until earlier in this quarter, Ole Miss was striking out every time they tried to do something. Rawlings is okay apparently on the sideline, but Florida's got it back, almost pitching a no-hitter here. 25-3. Greer, bootleg, throws, completes, and it's Goolsby, the tight end, for 4 more.
Boy, that is so hard to do, and Will Greer made it look easy because Fadal Brown was in hot pursuit, and he had to give ground and continually give ground to separate himself from Fadal Brown and find his tight end. It wasn't a long reception, but an important play, the 7th catch of the ball game for a Florida tight end.
As the Gators back in Rebel territory at the 46-yard line. Again, the snap was a little bit high. Calvin Taylor spins for 3. Trey Elston knocked him down. It'll be 3rd down. Elston, the leader of that secondary, 3-year starter, was the rover before this, and now the free safety.
Florida 6 of 10 on 3rd down, and a big reason is the yardage needed. When you're 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, the quarterback does not have to hold the ball long in the pocket.
Calvin Taylor goes out as a wideout, so it's going to be an empty backfield for Will Greer. Throws to Callaway for the 1st down.
See, that's a quick throw. I mean, that's a snap, couple steps, boom, ball's out of your hands. Doesn't matter how good of a pass rush you have. When you don't have to throw it down the field deep, you can take that ball and get it out of your hands very quickly.
3rd quarter flew by, courtesy of a long drive by Ole Miss that only ended in a field goal, though, and they got some making up to do in the 4th quarter, down 25-3. And happy Gator fans right now. Their team's 15 minutes away from probably jumping into the top 15 in the country, jumping in and keeping the top spot on the SEC East, and really opening some eyes as they're leading number 3 Ole Miss and going for more. And a penalty marker comes in. Kendarius Webster with a coverage on Antonio Callaway.
Well, remember, Webster got away with one in the 1st half. Same situation. He runs through the receiver and doesn't make a play on the ball. This time, they got it to call on the pass interference. Single coverage on Callaway, ball's in the air, no play on the ball, and he makes contact with the receiver. That's a good call.
It's only the 2nd penalty against Ole Miss, but it's a big one, as it puts Florida back in the red zone at the 19-yard line.
I love the aggressiveness of Florida, though.
They're not taking their foot off the pedal.
Jim McElwain said that to Holly. We have to stay in attack mode, and that's exactly what that was.
Taylor got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe eked a yard out. Channing Ward brought him down.
You know, some would suggest last week in their great comeback victory in the 4th quarter, maybe Tennessee took their foot off the gas a little bit and helped the Gators in that comeback effort. Jim McElwain not going to make that mistake tonight.
1 field goal to show for 2 possessions in the red zone for Ole Miss, and Florida has turned them into touchdowns. The only thing really they've done wrong is missed an extra point and then been unsuccessful on 2-point conversions thereafter, but they've got a 22-point lead. Greer fires, and again it's the tight end Jake McGee. We had a chance to talk to Jake yesterday. Interesting dude. Transferred from Virginia, that got hurt in the first ball game last year and redshirted, and then had to really scramble back to get healthy enough to play, and he's playing well tonight. 6 catches.
Yep, 6 catches, and a lot of them on 2nd down to bring up these 3rd down and manageable situations. And that's what Florida's success tonight. 7 times they've been 3rd and 5 or less. So far they're 6 for 6 in those kind of situations.
3rd down and 3 as Callaway's in motion on the ball. The handoff, Taylor, he hits a stone wall, and it was Trey Elston.
Excellent defense. penetration first, forced the ball carrier to bounce it outside. This was supposed to go inside, supposed to go right in here, but the penetration forced Taylor to bounce out, and then 3 white jerseys setting the edge of the defense. Good discipline by the Ole Miss defense on 3rd and short.
You mentioned earlier George Powell has not tried a field goal. Here's his chance from 31 yards. Redshirt freshman from Coral Gables, Florida. High snap. They got it down. The kick is up and good. Not bad, kid. You're 1 for 1.
Now maybe they'll let him choose his own number. They probably gave him 98 because it's the last number on the roster.
Ole Miss had beaten Florida the last 2 times they played them here. And with that comes our Aflac trivia question. Who's the last team to beat Florida in Gainesville at least 3 consecutive times? Kind of doesn't look like it's going to be Ole Miss tonight, but somebody has done that. I'll give you the answer in a little bit. All right, George. Nice 31-yard field goal, son. As he gets set to kick it off to Carlos Davis. Uh-oh, live ball. Got to pick it up at the 3-yard line and didn't get to the 10. It was one of those weird kicks that just sort of died in front of him.
Florida defense has been all over the place. They got the turnover deep in Ole Miss territory early in the game. And then penetration on the goal line. They stuffed Ole Miss as they tried to run it in on a much-needed touchdown situation. And then the fumble that they stripped Chad Kelly on a nice run. But this Florida defense, not happy with the way they played a week ago in the winning effort against Tennessee, has been a dominant defense here tonight.
3 points to show for it so far, averaging 55. Down the middle and a little bit behind the intended receiver, Cody Core.
Now, I mentioned early in the show that I thought this defense would challenge and be a bigger challenge for Ole Miss than Alabama's defense because of how they're built. They're built for speed to rush the passer, and they have great coverage guys in the secondary, and they have locked this offense down.
Kelly's got plenty of time here. He's got to go underneath, though, to Akeem Judd, who got 5 yards. It'll be 3rd down upcoming. You mentioned the turnovers there on that package of looking back to what's gone on through 3+ quarters. And Florida's got 9 points off those 2 turnovers of Ole Miss. 3rd down and 6. They got to have this. Whoa, what a hit. A 1st down catch, but Keanu Neal made Quincy Attaboyjo know it. Keanu might have gotten the worst of the deal. I'm not sure.
You know, Jeff Collins told us that Keanu, his nickname is Kiki. Said he's the nicest guy in the world off the field. But when he gets on the field, he turns on a different switch, and he becomes a mean football player. That was a mean hit, dislodging the receiver from the football.
Said he reminds him of Cam Chancellor of the Seahawks. And Kiki is a little kooky right now after that hit. He'll love it when he sees it on film, but he doesn't feel too good about it right now, and neither does Attaboyjo. That's clean contact and all of that, but just a good football play, even though it's 1st down catch. Didn't want to show that wincing when he was running off, but when he got to the sideline, he felt it for sure. Here's the punt. Line drive taken high by Florida on the return. That was a tough catch, actually, by Antonio Callaway. 28-3. Emmitt Smith with Holly Rowe when we come back.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hilton.com where you can book unbeatable prices on 12 unbeatable hotel brands. And in part by the exotic taste of Popeye's new Wild Pepper Tenderloins.
Here with Florida Gator, great Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt, a fun night. What is it like to see the Gators rising back to prominence like this?
You know, it's a wonderful thing after watching the last couple of years of some football that wasn't quite up to Gator standards. Tonight, you're getting the full package. You're getting offense, you're getting defense, you're getting special teams, and you're getting a lot of discipline and consistency starting to emerge tonight.
Now, I know you don't want to miss offensive plays behind us, so you keep your eye on it. But I want to ask you about Kelvin Taylor. Fred Taylor obviously played here, younger than you. But what do you think about Kelvin and the way he's running the ball?
I think tonight he has shown that he can carry the load. He's been in the main running back the whole entire night. And Ole Miss is playing good football, too. They blitz running, or run blitzing, if you will. And so it makes it very tough to run the football. But he has put his foot in the ground, made a nice couple cuts, and made some guys miss and made some nice runs.
Now, he did break a couple of your high school records, maybe just one. What do you think about that?
Well, you know, records are made to be broken, and it's always nice to see that someone that you know, a former Gator son, actually did it. So I'm excited for Fred, and I'm excited for Kevin, who is doing a great job tonight for the Gators.
Now, you've got your own son, 13 years old, playing some ball in junior high. Would you encourage him to play at this level?
Yeah, I mean, he wants to play at this level. I didn't necessarily encourage him to play football at all. He gravitated to it, he wanted to do it, and he fell in love with the sport. And you can't take away a kid's passion.
Are they recruiting him yet is my real question.
Not yet, but we'll see in the next couple of years.
All right. Hey, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Emmitt in 3 years here, almost 4,000 rushing yards as a Gator and the all-time leader in the NFL. Big day for guys coming back to their alma mater. LaDainian Tomlinson was at the TCU route of Texas today. Even though that wasn't completed, how about a 28-3 lead? And again, Florida is not stopping from trying to get more.
Yeah. And it was a good read. Find the single coverage. Wide receiver working on a safety, Mike Hilton. And it was just a beautiful play on the ball by Mike Hilton.
Ahmad Forward is the intended receiver, and he's still on the turf trying to make this catch.
A good throw, slightly underthrown, but Hilton does a nice job of making a play on the ball with his right hand and ripping it out of there. Remember, it was Hilton on the first touchdown that took a bad angle to the football and kind of got beat on the touchdown to Demarcus Robinson to start the scoring for Florida, that time in perfect position, and made a nice play.
Favor that left arm or shoulder. Ahmad Forward, the junior out of Jacksonville, walking off under his own power. Monday Night Football coming up for you. Seattle is home. Russell Wilson and company taking on Matty Stafford and Calvin Johnson and the Lions. They need a win bad. Monday Night Football. Lions and Seahawks, 8:15 Eastern, right here on ESPN. Johnny Townsend to punt. He's got some leg into some tonight, I'll tell you that. And put it right over on the sideline at the 9-yard line where Carlos Davis had to make the catch and had nowhere to go with it. Nowhere to go for the Rebels right now. They trail by 25 with 10.5 to play. All right, Adnan, thanks. This is a fourth time Ole Miss has had to start inside their own 15-yard line. This is at the 9.
Well, that's a big story right there. Explosive plays, non-existent tonight.
Out of the backfield, Judd.
You know, it's interesting. Jim McElwain said something I thought was a great quote. He said one of the messages that he's really tried to enforce with his team on a daily basis, be proud of what you put on film. That's your resume. Last week, this defense was not proud. They had a lot of missed tackles. They went back and showed them clips, not just of the game in missed tackles, but even in the week of practice. A much more focused effort this week, and this has been a dominant defensive performance tonight.
Pass complete. Cody Core. And that'll be a first down.
Coming into this game, Ole Miss as an offense, not just scoring 55 points a game, but averaging 7.6 yards per play. Tonight, 4.3 yards per play.
Florida almost looked like they were offside. Treadwell, the intended receiver, skips off his hands. We're under 10 minutes. And Ole Miss needs a lot of points in a hurry. Second and 10 from the 23. Gators faked the blitz, backed out of it. He missed the pass, though, to Ingram, who was open.
Well, he missed the pass because there was pressure right up the middle. It was coming right into the face of the quarterback, and I think it blocked his vision to not see exactly where he was throwing. That inside pressure is the hardest to deal with for a quarterback, especially one that's 6'1", 6'2", like Chad Kelly.
5th time they did it. 3rd down and 10 or more. That's what they've got here. Kelly with time, running out of time, now trying to run for the 1st down, and he got it. Boy, gutsy run, picked up 12 yards.
Gutsy is right, did a nice job of protecting the football at the end of the run. Remember, he had a fumble earlier in the 2nd half on a similar kind of play.
They line up quickly at the 35. Kelly threw, intended for Ingram, threw out in the flat there in the coverage by Nick Washington.
Ingram and Washington kind of got tangled up on that play. No flag call, just got their legs tangled up a little bit. Laquan Treadwell, 5 catches, 42 yards. Virtually a non-factor tonight for Ole Miss.
Kelly, middle screen, skips off the hands of Judd. Never really developed like they wanted it to. And it's 3rd and 10 again.
Well, again, it's hard against a team like this with coverage skills like they have in the back end and pass rushers like they have up front. 3rd and 10, very, very difficult.
Vernon Hargreaves is working it over there on the corner. One of the best in the country, a 1st-round draft choice when he decides the NFL is next. Kelly. Incomplete. Intended for Treadwell and broken up by the other corner, Quincy Wilson.
Yeah, that's what Jeff Collins told. He said Vernon is all that. He's everything people think he is, but our other guy, Quincy Wilson, he's playing at a very similar level. Wilson's a little bigger at 6'1", 209, and he doesn't get bodied around by Treadwell the way maybe a smaller cornerback might.
Ole Miss knows they're not going to get their hands on the football too many times. I think they're going to call a timeout here as they were prepared to go on 4th and 10. And that leaves them one timeout.
It's a 12-minute formation. It's an illegal substitution on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Just to add to the problems. The illegal substitution. And I think Hugh Freeze is saying, give me the timeout back. We'll take the penalty and let's play ball. And that apparently is what's going to happen here. So he tried to get a timeout, caught with the 12th man anyway, back him up, 4th down and 15. They got to get all the way out to the 45-yard line to move the sticks and keep hope alive. And the clock winding down. They're going to have to hustle. It'll be 4th and 20. Kelly fires, intercepted by Hargreaves. Down the sideline for Hargreaves, a hurdle and inside the 10-yard line. And he's going to dance some more. There was a personal foul after the interception. You may not have been able to hear that. The fans don't care. I'm sure the Gators might not care either.
Now this play shows you the talent of Hargreaves. He's in man coverage. He's right here. But at the last minute, he's going to take a glance at the quarterback and sees that ball is underthrown. The receiver did not. Hargreaves did and jumped right in front of it for another interception on the season. That's 3 on the year for Vernon Hargreaves.
Showing you why he's a 1st-round draft choice waiting to happen. And the Gators have got it 1st and goal. at the 5-yard line. 3 turnovers. Florida trying to turn it into points. Bad snap. Greer picks it up. Tries a stiff arm over there and gets dropped for a loss of 1.
When Ole Miss went on the road and beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa, to this point, the biggest upset, the biggest game of the season, they got help with turnovers by Alabama, and they took advantage of it. Tonight, Florida has not helped them, and in fact, they've done just the opposite. They've created turnovers for themselves, forcing 3 Ole Miss mistakes.
Down to 8:20 to play. 2nd down and goal for the Gators just outside the 5. Calvin Taylor back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Boy, we knew this Florida defense was pretty good. I didn't know they were this good.
They're fast, and they can cover. I mean, Will Muschamp was a great defensive coach, and he didn't make it here as a head coach, but he recruited some outstanding defensive football players. And for the last couple years, they've been one of the best defenses, not just in the SEC, but in college football.
Yep. 3rd down and goal. Greer in an empty backfield. 5 receivers at his disposal, and one of them makes the catch, but it's inside the 5 to DeMarcus Robinson, who's had another good game.
You know, when Hugh Freeze said to Holly at halftime, we're going to find out what our team's all about in this second half, that's when you find something out right there. This game's out of reach. You just had a turnover. Florida has the ball inside the 10-yard line, and your defense comes up with 3 big-time plays with their back against the goal line. That's character right there for the Ole Miss defense.
Florida using as much clock as possible here as it ticks under 7 minutes. Jim McElwain, I didn't think in our meeting any different than 4 years ago when he was offensive coordinator at Alabama. You know, he acts the same. Yeah. He said to Holly at the halftime interview, is this cool or what, talking about a big game in the swamp? And it's about to be a big win in the swamp in 6 minutes and 43 seconds.
Jim McElwain, 3 years at Colorado State, made them a winner, a bowl team, got better each year. And now here at Florida, about to go to 5-0.
Got a break right here. We asked you the Aflac trivia question. Who's the last team to beat Florida in Gainesville at least 3 consecutive times, which was what Ole Miss was trying to do tonight? Alabama. 6 straight over a long span from 1930 to 1986. Alabama spoiled Georgia's day in Athens today. We'll see them next week against Arkansas. And there's the Tim Tebow line. You'll never see a team play harder than we will. And they played hard tonight, and they're just about to add 3 more to it. George Powell looking to add to his jersey number. Yeah, I think you got to give him something different.
Yeah, let him choose.
That's it. Well, a great play by a great player a few moments ago. Vernon Hargreaves went airborne, picks that off, takes it down. And another former Florida great is enjoying what he's seeing. Emmett says that's the way it's done. College football primetime on ESPN presented by Hilton. And a 31-3 lead for number 25 Florida over 3rd-ranked Ole Miss. They won't be 3rd-ranked next week. The years of 96, 06, and 08, the largest wins over a top 3 opponent for Florida. Those are national championship years. I don't know if we want to go that far, but 5-0 and beating number 3 Ole Miss is not bad. And they have done it in resounding fashion, 31-3. Carlos Davis from the goal line. Made it to the 21 maybe. Hey, we got a great way to get you ready for NFL Sundays. NFL tomorrow morning on ESPN. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, our ESPN crew, watching the day's biggest shocker, I guess, from the swamp in Gator country where it's 31-3.
One bright spot for Ole Miss, Ron Taylor, number 73, getting to play tonight.
Ball is out again. Scooped up again by Florida. Not quite to the end zone. C.C. Jefferson.
Well, both defensive ends brought the pressure. Alex McAllister, number 14, who looks more like an NBA power forward, is the guy that's going to get to the quarterback and knock the ball out. And the guy on the other side, Jefferson, scoops it up. This has happened twice tonight. The ball's popped up in the air, and a defensive lineman for Florida has scooped it up. I'm not so sure he didn't score.
It was awfully close. They put it down about the 1 foot line. What a thrill for the freshman, C.C. Jefferson. Well, Florida would almost have to take a knee to not score another touchdown here. And this is not trying to rub it in Ole Miss face, but when your defensive linemen give it to you here, you try to score, and you do. Touchdown, Florida. Jordan Kronwright.
Interesting play. Unbalanced line. They hurry to the line. The quarterback goes under center, and they toss it from the 1 foot line and run it in for the touchdown.
I mispronounced Jordan's name earlier, and I want to apologize to him and his family. Jordan, I called him Cronkite earlier. It's Kronkwright. I got it right that time. And Walter Cronkite could have probably taken it in from the 1 foot line. At any rate, it's another Florida touchdown. Powell for the extra point. Up and good.
They hurry to the line. They have a defensive lineman right here. They got tight ends, and they just quick snap it. And they kind of catch the Ole Miss defense a little bit off guard with that different formation. Florida has done just about everything right tonight.
They had an extra point, hit the right upright. Other than that, I can't think of anything they've done wrong. And as our stat guru over here, Pat McGrath, says, as I was talking about Walter Cronkite, as he scores from the 1 yard line, well, that's the way it is.
Well, we made the comment. Last week's win over Tennessee made Florida relevant. A win tonight would make them for real. I think this team with this defense and the way Will Grier played tonight, they are for real. A real contender in the SEC East.
Yep. They're alone on top now after Georgia lost today to Alabama. Going to be 3-0, 5-0 overall, 3-0 in conference play in the SEC East.
A lot of people wondered how good they really were. Not only did they come back to beat Tennessee in the 4th quarter by 1, but they won their 3 games by a total of 13 points.
Well, here's what they've got coming up. They're going to win this one to be 5-0 at Missouri, at LSU. Then Georgia after a week off. That one's in Jacksonville. Vandy at South Carolina. FAU, Florida State to wrap it up. With the exception of LSU, they might be favored in all those games now.
Yeah.
Kelly down the middle. Ingram broke a tackle. Picks up 16. Ball came out at the end. I think he was down. As Brian Poole was going the other way with the football.
Ingram's found some openings in the middle of the defense tonight. Knee down before the ball comes out.
And Kelly hit as he threw again. Leveled, incomplete. Jonathan Bullard again putting the pressure on Chad.
Well, an already excellent pass rush. Even better in this situation where they don't have to respect run at all. They're not worried about the run game. All they're thinking about is how to get to the quarterback in the fastest way possible.
Throw complete, loss on the play, courtesy Antonio Morrison. How about that for a middle linebacker out there in space on Akeem Judd? Nice play.
Just watching him on the sidelines tonight, there were a couple times when the offensive team was huddled up, getting ready to go back on the field, and he runs and jumps right in the middle of the offensive huddle. He is the true leader of both sides of the football of this Florida team, the heart and soul of this football team.
Flags down. I think Florida was offside. Kelly takes a hit again. Taven Bryan, I think somebody jumped in the neutral zone too quickly. Just to go back to Antonio Morrison for a second after the call.
Offside. Number 93 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
And there's the guy we were talking about a moment ago. We were talking with Jonathan Bullard yesterday, and he said he was an inspiration rehabbing after getting hurt in the bowl game because, as you said, Todd, you know, it usually takes a year. He said, I came in every morning. He was always in the training room rehabbing before I got there, and I'll guarantee you he's the last dude that left the building at the end of the day because he was determined he was going to play for the Gators this year, and he has played beautifully again tonight. Nice throw and catch. Derek Jones with a completion into Florida territory.
Well, those explosive plays have just been too far and few between, or few and far between for Ole Miss. 23 yards on that one.
That's their biggest play of the night. Under 5 minutes to go. Kelly on a play action, throws complete again to Jones. And boy, that was good coverage by Hargraves, but Chad tucked that one in there. 16-yard pickup.
And that back shoulder throw, even a cornerback as talented as Vernon, that's a hard play to defend if the ball's thrown correctly.
They'll keep this one on the ground, and a nice spinning run by Eugene Brasley, who's just in this offensive set on this particular series for the first time tonight. He got 12 yards. And it's first and goal for Ole Miss, looking for their first touchdown of the night. Kelly, quick throw out, and it will be a touchdown to Markel Pack. 6-yard scoring toss.
Nice job by Pack with a little stutter step. He's going to put his left foot in the ground. Watch this little plant of the left foot and cut back inside the defender, Quincy Wilson, and gets it into the end zone.
Wonderlic comes in for the point after. Up and good. So the first touchdown of the night took Ole Miss all the way to the 4-minute mark of the fourth and final quarter. That said, too late, really. 2 minutes and 16 seconds to go 75 yards in 7 plays. And Chad Kelly gets his 11th touchdown pass of this season to Markel Pack. This one is all Florida with 4 minutes to play. Onside kick, I'm sure, coming up. Talk about Jim McElwain yesterday when I said him. We kind of got busy at the point when he was at Alabama, the offensive coordinator, Nick Saban, just kind of a regular guy, you know, and now he's a head coach and a successful one, very successful at Colorado State, as you said, and 5-0 is pretty successful in this conference. He's the same guy.
Yeah, he is. He really is. Coached under some good guys in his background. Coached under John L. Smith at Michigan State. Coached under Pat Hill at Fresno State.
Here's the onside. It went 10 yards, and they got it, I think. I mean, they got it, but I think it went 10 yards. And Ray Smith is a guy that scooped it up. Now, one of the officials is standing at the 44-yard line, and if that's the case, then it didn't go 10 yards.
Florida didn't do anything. They just kind of stood and watched the ball bounce.
They really did.
They were very, maybe the first play tonight, they weren't aggressive.
By number 22 in the kicking team prior to the ball going 10 yards. It'll be Florida's ball at that spot. For the game clock operator, please put 4:02 on the game clock.
Well, we'll get another look at it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I guess his trail foot was behind the line.
And the ball was behind the line.
Yeah, the lead foot.
The ball was behind the 10-yard mark. His foot was across the 10-yard mark. The ball was not. Very close.
So Florida has it back in Ole Miss territory. They just have to eat up 4 minutes of clock here. This is where you don't want anybody to get hurt in a game that's lopsided in the last 5 minutes. Cronkright, who had the touchdown from a yard, gets a couple there as we check in with Holly.
Well, Todd, you talked about it earlier. Jim McElwain really challenged this football team to own what they put on film, and they put a great game on film tonight. But the reason, he said, it all goes back to 1972. I owned a sweet Pinto that was pea green. I'd polish it. I put a sweet 8-track tape deck in it. I took care of that Pinto. I loved that Pinto. He said, because I owned it, I took better care of it. I had great pride in it. That's the lesson he's trying to get this team to realize here at Florida is own this program, have accountability, don't be entitled, and take great pride in what you do, and we've seen all of that tonight. It all started with a Pinto.
72 Pinto and that color green, they were sweet, man. And he said that 8-track had earth, wind, and fire in it. He's had a little bit of all of that tonight. They've had some earth, some wind, some fire, and they just pretty much putting it on the number 3 team in the country.
Well, my only question is, how many of these 18 to 22-year-old Florida Gators have any idea what a Pinto is?
Or an 8-track.
Or looks like. Or an 8-track. I mean, we get it.
You got to Google it, yeah. Third down coming up. We're under 3 minutes. So 3 years ago, Florida beat South Carolina and LSU, who were both in the top 10 in the one good season that Will Muschamp had here. Now they're about to beat the number 3 team in the country, and they're really handing it to them, quite frankly. Another tough run by Calvin Taylor, and a first down. Don't forget Sports Center at night coming up after our Pac-12 showdown that we hope is coming up soon. Get complete college football wrap-up, plus a pennant race update, a no-hitter tonight with the baseball season coming to an end. Sports Center at night beginning right after Oregon and Colorado on ESPN. They had a lightning delay in that game. I don't know if that's still going on or not. Down near 2 minutes. A week ago, Ole Miss is on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Tonight, they're down 28 points. Not quite what happened 2 weeks ago when they beat Alabama.
Well, Will Grier started slow last week, not this week. Played well in the fourth quarter a week ago, has played well in all 4 quarters tonight. Reading the defense with great vision, throwing accurately, and keeping this Ole Miss defense off balance. Good ball face, good ball security, accurate throwing. Will Grier has been outstanding tonight, and the Florida offense has looked better than they've looked at any point this season. They were efficient on third down, 8 for 15 on third down. Coming into the game, that's been an area that they've struggled with. Tonight, they were outstanding.
He hit 8 of his first 9 and ended up going 24 out of 29 as he hands it off. So Calvin Taylor trying to stay inbounds but still get some positive yardage. 24 out of 29. You take that back to the last 8 minutes of the Tennessee game, and he's got some staggering stats. That guy came in with staggering stats, but they're going back to Oxford with a lopsided loss. We talked to some of the Florida players. They said, you know, we recognize the fact we're in the top 25, and it does fire us up a little bit. Jim McElwain said, I don't worry about that. I just tell them keep it in the now. If you just take every day for what it is, every win for what it is, whatever happens will happen. Whew, happening tonight. Florida with one of the biggest upsets of the season. 38-10. The Florida defense, 4 takeaways, 4 sacks. Their quarterback offensively almost perfect, and I'd say the folks in the swamp are about as happy as they could be. So for the first time this year, Ole Miss suffers a defeat They dropped to 2-1 in conference play, 4-1 overall. They'll fall out of that lofty ranking of number 3. Florida's going to move up because they're winning coaches with Holly right now, and it's a big win tonight.
Well, Coach, you told us yesterday the keys to this game would be your defense getting turnovers and give your offense a short field. How did that play out tonight?
Well, I think it came to fruition. And, first and foremost, what a great environment. And, we just got to enjoy this. This is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Your quarterback had been sick coming into the week. How did you describe the toughness he showed tonight?
Yeah, I thought he was gritty. I thought Nuts called a great game, keeping him off balance. We moved the pocket a little bit, but our defense came up when we needed to. And really, I think the answer on the drive where we kind of nailed a field goal, that meant a lot to us.
Coach, I know a lot of people going into next week are going to say, is Florida back 5-0 now? What is your response?
Well, I don't know. Can I enjoy this one for a little bit?
Just a little bit.
I don't know if we're going to be back, but I know what? We'll show off.
Thanks, Coach. Anything else stand out to you tonight that you were proud of as a takeaway?
I tell you, I'm just so proud of these players. They're playing their tail off, and they're playing the game the way it should be played, and that's good to see.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Gators celebrating over there. 19 points off 4 Ole Miss turnovers. Their offense was sensational, and one of the biggest wins here in a while. The Gators resounding victory over the Rebels of Ole Miss. 38-10 is the final. They're partying in Gainesville tonight. Don't forget, Oregon and Colorado's coming up next. For Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe and our entire ESPN crew, Brad Nessler saying so long from Gainesville, Florida. Big win for the Gators as we send it to the studio and Adnan Virk.
Yes!